Our great mate on this program, Rexy Mossop, she was adopted from South Korea.
And that wasn't her name then.
No, her name was
Soo Young Kim.
Soo Young Kim. And she was, from time to time, has said to people, like people doing her nails, you said, and other people.
Uber drivers.
Uber drivers, that you're Korean, and they've looked at you and said...
No. You're not Korean. You're something else.
Okay, so you got your DNA back and opened it this morning.
Yes.
And it reveals that you are?
I'm 43.6% Japanese, 34.3% Chinese and Vietnamese, 17.6% Mongolian, 2.5% Nepalese, and 2% Finnish, which I'm very proud of.
Stay with us because Professor Martin Delaticki, geneticist from Victorian Clinical Genetics Services. Professor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ross. Thank you for having me on.
Rexy here was adopted from South Korea. Does that indicate, what ethnically, what would you call her? Does that make her
a mutt?
Japanese?
So I think the question is how accurate the testing is at being able to define the exact region someone's from. Mm-hmm. And so this depends on the database that they've got to be able to really hone in on exact location of where people are from. And Japanese and Korean are very close genetically. And so the first thing I would be doing is contacting the company who did it and ask them whether they have the ability to hone in on Korean as opposed to Japanese. And it might be simply that they're not able to do that because of their limitations of the testing.
Can you do it?
Can I do it?
Yeah,
no, I cannot do it. I don't have that database. So you need a database of hundreds of thousands of people who've been tested to be able to get the algorithms correct to hone in on the exact ethnicity.
Oh, we're going to have to... You're ruining our plans, Professor. We've just booked a Japanese restaurant to skill her up. And we may have to go back to Korean barbecue.
No. I think you should do both.
No, I said konnichiwa to her and she looked wide-eyed at me. Would it help you to know that, for example, that the Japanese invaded Korea in World War II?
So I think the ethnicity goes back a lot further than World War II. And I would not be blaming the Japanese invasion of World War II. I think it goes back much further than that to migration through Asia, which came historically through Japan to Korea. So that would explain the closeness in genetic relationship between people from Korea and people from Japan.
I did confirm with my mum this morning. I sent her a message saying I have some questions. She definitely did go to South Korea. She didn't get on the wrong flight or anything. I made sure.
Hey, it's a fascinating field. You must have a lot of fun with your job, Professor. We thank you for talking to us.
Thank you again.
Professor Martin Delaticki, geneticist from Victorian Clinical Genetics Services. I didn't mention this to you before, but I definitely read many years ago that North Korean, the language, and Finnish have similarities. Since then, I've attempted to go back into the net to find confirmation that I once read it, and I can't find it. But I'm sure I read once that North Korean and Finnish are quite similar, unless I've gone mad. Righto. What are you going to do? We're going to go to the Japanese restaurant, or are we going to hold fire?
No.
Oh, as indeed they do.
I'm going to embrace this.
Oh, you beauty. Japanese music. Thanks, Damien.